What's up guys, it's Frank with Bodybuilding Bros and Synergy Training, back with another video. Wanted to show you all my lower body pull workout, so glutes and hamstring focus. I do this twice a week, and then I also have like a quad focused session twice a week. So this is my Monday PM workout. I'll hit the same muscle group again probably on Thursday afternoons typically during a usual week. So just wanted to give you an idea of what that looks like and do a little voiceover for my training. So I'm going to start off here with some Romanian deadlifts, is what I'm calling them. Some might call them stiff leg deadlifts because they're from the floor, but I do keep a slight bend in my knee. I do prefer doing these from the floor. A lot of people will kind of start at the top of the movement and then work their way down and not touch the floor and then come back up. For whatever reason, I've always just gotten a much better stimulus in my glutes and hamstrings by starting from the floor. I'm still keeping a lot of tension at the bottom, so I'm not letting that tension go off of my glutes and hammies when I'm hitting the floor. It's just kind of a consistent stopping place for me and really allows me to kind of set my weight back. So I have it's kind of hard to tell, but I have the plates up about 1.5 inches. So I have two horse stall mats stacked up there. So it brings it up a little bit because beyond that, my low back would be rounding before I would hit the floor, which you don't want to happen when you're doing these RDLs. So essentially you should just be going to the lowest point where you're still keeping tension on your hamstrings, your knees aren't bending, and your low back isn't rounding. So just a different angle for you here. I'm really careful about keeping my low back in a good position. About 3 years ago, I hurt my low back and have like a herniated and bulging disc at L5-S1, so I just have to be super careful and making sure I'm not putting any tension really there with my lumbar flexing at all, so making sure to keep it really neutral. And just showing you a different angle here so you can kind of see where my hips and knees are at for these. So I'm hitting RDLs. I'm going to hit 4 sets this session and then 4 sets again in my session later this week. So hitting those twice a week. I was trying out good mornings for a little bit, and again, for whatever reason, I just don't get a great stimulus. These RDLs really light me up. So going up to about probably 0 to 1 RIR here, but again, being careful not to let my low back flex at all. So moving on to hamstring curl, I also am hitting these twice a week, 3 sets each session. This is a leg extension leg curl combo from Titan. It allows some modification of the seat angle, which is nice. So I'm raising the seat angle all the way up to flex me at the hip a little bit more, just to put more stretch on your hamstrings at the end. And then I also have the weight to start where it's giving me the most tension right at the beginning of the movement. So if you see the plates on the weight stack, they're kind of moving parallel to the ground right at the beginning of the movement, and as they come up, it's kind of moving more perpendicular to the ground, right? So it's losing that effect of gravity on the weight. So I'm hitting between 10 to 15 reps on these, and then on my 3rd set, I'll also do some lengthened partials at the end. So just to get a little bit more reps in that lengthened position, which is probably beneficial for more muscle growth that way. So after I do those, I'm moving on to these hip abductions. This is with an ankle strap on a cable. A lot of people, you'll see on like the good girl, bad girl machine at the gym. And this would be, what people might call a bad girl movement. So this is targeting your glute medius, so the upper outer part of your glute that you don't really get as much stimulus for on your other hip hinge patterns like your RDLs or your squats or leg presses, things like that. So a little extra volume here, and I'm actually going to do this myo rep style. So I'm going to hit my first set of anywhere between like 15 to 25 reps, and then just take a very short rest of about 5 seconds. Basically, I just counted as 5 deep breaths to catch my breath, and then I'm going to bang out another set real quick to failure. So this is, that was my first activation set, you might call it, where I'm doing anywhere from 15 to 25, take a quick rest, and then bang out a few more. You're probably only going to be able to get, 5, 7, maybe 10 reps, depending on how quickly you recover from that and the type of movement. So I'm going to repeat that another 4 times. So I just sped through this real quick so you can see what that looks like. I do like this, even if I had, access to a hip abduction machine at a gym. I think this is probably a little bit more effective because it allows your leg to go beyond your other leg. So you're getting even more of a stretch on your glute than you would, if you were limited by your knees coming together in a machine. So I'm just going to hit 1 myo rep set of essentially 5 sets for each leg there. And I only do those once a week. My second lower pull day, I'm going to do some hip adduction, so bringing my leg together, or a good girl type of movement. So this is something I just started doing recently. It's just a knee raise and kind of a hip external rotation. And I'm doing this to target the Sartorius muscle. It's kind of that long cylindrical looking muscle that goes kind of diagonally from your knee across your hip. And you really don't see it unless you're extremely lean, like in a bodybuilding show. It looks pretty cool when it's, developed and lean enough to actually see it. And since it crosses the knee and the hip, you don't really get a lot of, you don't really hit it when you're doing a seated leg curl, sorry. You will hit it if you're doing some lying leg curls. But again, those probably are not as effective for your hamstrings muscles. So plus I don't have access to a lying leg curl in my home gym. So I've been doing these just once a week. And again, I'm just doing this myo rep style where I'm just going to do one first set of 15 to 20 and then bang out like 4 quick sets of, 5 to 7 reps or whatever, essentially whatever I can get to failure on those. I highly recommend getting an ankle strap, even if you work out in a commercial gym. Lots of different movements you can do with those. So you've already seen a couple. I like to do a standing leg extension with those. And I also use them for shoulder lateral raises on the cable. So this is my final movement. This is not the best angle that I got, but what I'm doing here is really just trying to flex and extend my spine to get some more direct spinal erector work. So my spine, I'm thinking about, starting like this with it really flexed and then bringing it as much to extension as I can. So you get a lot of spinal erector isometric training through your compound movements, like your deadlifts and squats and things where you're, bracing your core and resisting that spinal flexion. But, taking it through its range of motion might give you a little bit more growth there. So just been throwing these in again once a week, and I'm doing these myo rep style as well, just to, save time. And also doing them drop set style. So this first activation set, I have 15 pounds. I'm gonna do that set and then drop the weight, rest for, a few seconds, catch my breath, and then just do the rest of these shorter sets with just body weight, so no weight added for the rest of them. And that'll give you a pretty good low back pump. Not the best feeling, but you'll definitely feel it in your erectors if you haven't done these before. These myo reps, so I think I've seen some studies showing that a set of 5, basically, if you're going to count it that way, is probably could be equivalent to 3 traditional working sets. So just a nice way to get some volume in pretty quickly. So that's it for this session. I'm gonna show you guys what I have for my post-workout meal. This is just dinner. That training session was around 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then I'm gonna have dinner. Again, nothing special about the post-workout meal specifically. It's all in context of what you eat the rest of the day and the rest of your diet. But just figured I'd show you this meal that I eat pretty often for dinner, at least like a couple days a week, something quick and easy to throw together. So thanks for watching the video. Leave a comment, like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.